Amazing. So I think I can pass it to Tenyjah. I did realize I forgot to say about if you need captions, you can go to the more button and hit captions, and then it'll show that for you. But amazing. I'm so excited to hand it over to Tenyjah and Travis to lead us through the day.
Yay. Okay, hey guys. This is Creator Crew. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for coming. I hope you have all of your snacks. I have my corn chips, my coffee, my water, my gummy bears. So I'm set. Creator Crew is basically one of my brain babies where I was just like, it was an experience when I left my creative comfort zone of Montreal, Quebec. And I never imagined not being in theater or not doing anything creative. And so when I graduated from John Abbott, what I noticed also was there's like a disconnect from what they teach you in school. And then when you get into the real world, it's like, what do I do? So for me, I've created Creator Crew not just because I want to hang out with cool creatives, but I would like to exchange how it actually works in the real world and talk to working artists and also just show the youth that you don't have to wait till you get to a certain age to do what you know you can do. You just need the information and the access to it. And so that's Creator Crew. So it's just a space to hang out, eat yummy snacks, and talk to artists. As for speaking to artists, I'm an actor, a writer, and a singer. I just closed out Wizard of Oz with VOS. I was Glinda the Good Witch. So much
Ooh.
fun. Um, and yeah, and then the other asterisks I'm going to add, why we have Travis here. This is my cousin. So like
What up,
we're
though?
related.
What up, though?
We're related, just so you know. And I just also wanted to get that out there because hanging out with my cousin in this kind of environment is it's my first time and I'm really nervous, but it'll be fine.
It will be, and I'm going to start with something even more uncomfortable.
Okay.
When are we going to work together? When are you going to write me something? What's the deal? Like, what do I got to do? Like,
We
what's the
are,
deal?
we were exchanging things for
we were,
drawing
we are,
things. It'll
we
happen.
are. Yes, yes.
It'll happen. So
I'm going to speak
everybody,
it out loud. Yeah.
meet Travis. Nice.
Hi, Al. Thanks for having me. I sent that intentionally the Mars Project a promo. It's actually something like that I give to like funders to be like, yo, we need money to make this thing happen. I'm so excited for the project. We're coming to Victoria at some, I think like probably in the like the 2025 season. But very excited to do that show. The what you said in the opening just now is very true. You can do exactly what it is that you want to do, but what's missing is that mentorship. And what's taken me years and years and years to get hip to is the audacity to dream. It's like,
Yes.
I'm growing up as a tap dancer, and this is the way it's done. This is the way it's done. And so to fit into the group, I do it this way. But I'm this kind of person. And so it's taken me a very long time to have the audacity to not only dream, but to share my dreams. And I'm getting used to people going, "Oh, you like that? You think that's cool? Oh, okay." It's really important. So I'm glad to be here and share whatever little bit I know about art and art making.
Hey. Okay. So my first question is because not official questions. I have official questions on a paper.
All right.
But with the conversation that we were starting is um when people call you an artist, is there like a specific term that you would prefer? Kind of like I call them my artist pronouns. So
Yeah.
I like to be called an actor if somebody doesn't know the other things that I do,
Hmm.
or an artist. So when somebody calls me like, oh, you do visual art, I get super nervous because I'm still learning how to do it and I'm not that adept at it, or you're a singer. And I'm a very confident singer, but I kind of like shy from saying, yes, this is what
Mm,
I do.
mm.
So out of all the things that I do, I'm more confident in my acting. So then I would prefer to be called an actor or a
Cool.
voice actor, but just an actor in general. How about you?
It's the worst question for me right now at this time. Like, if you asked me like last year, easy. So let's go back in time. So last year I would have said tap dancer. Tap dancer, like it's so vast of a concept for me that it's enough. So as a tap dancer, I make podcasts, I make film, I dance on stage. When I forget who I am, sometimes you catch me teaching a class. But it's all tap dance related. I speak tap dance. I am very much a tap dancer. The reason I'm um, in a different space right now is the woman that taught me how to tap dance. Her name's Ethel Bruno. She's originally from Harlem, New York. She moved to Montreal in the 1950s, 1950s, when Montreal was like this booming club city, and especially because of they speak predominantly French there. And Ethel, even though she lived there forever, never really learned anything. She even married a Frenchman. Never picked up French. But because she was a dancer and a singer, like the language barrier wasn't a problem, right? So she did the nightclub circuit there for years and years and years, had a family, and then started teaching. Eventually, also in the 1900s, I started to learn how to tap dance. Um, and because of tap dance, I've seen a large part of the world. Like I'm going to India in March, y'all. I'm going to India in March, and I'm performing in this show. It's ridiculous. Fine. I say all that to say that my teacher. By the way, I married uh, one of Ethel Bruno's students. So my wife is, okay, tap dancer. And I have two
You
kids.
dancers.
You know what I'm saying? So that it's like Ethel is extremely important to me. And Ethel passed away this year in July. So my heart's broken. It's like it's like and it's quite painful to do it these days. I don't know how to navigate yet. Also, there's a complicated history to tap dance, which we may get into at a certain point. But it makes me. There's a lot of things that are making me want to need to reinvent myself. So we can pretend it's last year though. I'm a tap dancer.
For when your name is in my mouth, I just say dancer because from the shows that you've done and your
Yeah,
podcast and stuff, you talk a
yeah,
lot very rhythmically. And
true.
I feel like once I tell people, oh, he's a dancer, that immediate connect is made. And then when I'm like, oh, he taps, then they can do the whole separation of
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I dig it.
So I think that was a nice rounded uh start to getting into the history of things because I think also of um I'm not a dancer, but I like art. I watch art. Also, surprise,
Yeah,
I'm Black. So
yeah.
when people talk about um, tap dancing, I get split where I have the defense mechanism of like, I have a cousin who's like fire. And like, so
Bless you.
their traditional idea of what a Black tap dancer is, I'm like, no, 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 no. Like
Yeah.
we've moved on from that. There's
Have we?
people are
Mm.
more ambidextrous with with the way that they dance out their lives, they dance out their joy. It's different. It's completely different.
Yeah.
So that then the other part for me is I don't know what it is. I've been listening to your podcasts and just piecing things together gradually,
Mm.
but there is some sort of, I don't want to say shame, but like, because when people talk about tap, when not even non-black people, when I talk about tap dance with other people, immediately because I'm Black, Bojangles, where I'm just like, okay, there's a lot there. What do you know? And why are we still doing that direct link? Like and I think that I am spoiled in the fact because you're my cousin. I grew up with you. I saw everything,
Mm,
and I see, like, I can
mm,
relate to you and things. So like my brain doesn't make that immediate
yeah.
link. And so when people do it, I don't know how to absorb it and then not carry that because there's a weight in that. And so as a tap dancer, when have you gotten that when people do that to you and you're just like, what do I do?
Well, they don't do it to my face. That's for sure. There's something in the way I carry myself that never happens to my face. And then once they see me dance, it's not even a thing. But tap dance in the abstract absolutely has this negative minstrel connotation. Oy, oy, yo, we just got started. Why are we going here
Yeah,
already?
you was
Hi,
gonna go
y'all.
there. So
Hi,
ta-da.
like this is a very like adult conversation, and I will do my best to it's like I have to say. So you mentioned shame. It's so I'm working on a show uh, for Soul Pepper Theater Company, based on my complicated relationship with Bill Bojangles Robinson as a tap dancer and as a black man. It's called The Trial of Uncle Tom. It's going to be the feel good family show of the year. Um, uh, so, as a tap dancer, we celebrate Bill Robinson's birthday every year on May 25th. It's marked as International Tap Dance Day. Tap dancers all over the world put on their shoes and throw down, and they
Yeah.
say, "Thank you, Uncle Bo." We call him Uncle Bo, Bill Robinson. Okay. As a black man, my mama raised me to look at Bill Robinson and say, "Oh no, 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 no. That's no good, no good, no good." In fact, I remember as far back as grade 2, my mama said, she said to me, excuse me, my mother said to me, "Do not, do not skin your teeth in those school photos," and she's referring directly to this minstrel, nightmarish. Um, Affect that comes from a really horrible time in our collective history, but I'm going to be zone in on Black history specifically. Um, and so, as a child in grade 2, I'm taught, check this out, to essentially wear a mask, to hide myself, to view my own smile with shame. So this is it's a very complicated thing when our own features, our own natural features, are associated with minstrelsy. It's like the web that we have to untangle is bananas. In the question of like why, with tap dance, why do we keep on going back to Bill Robinson? We've moved on. Well, when you've experienced traumatic events in your life, you have post traumatic stress. It's like this. Your brain naturally keeps on going back and trying to process this event, and in the collective, I'll say, Black consciousness. Yeah, there are things that are unprocessed that are we just have to heal from. And a part of my job, I believe, or my job as a tap dancer, as a storyteller, is to try to heal that. And the thing that makes me upset to my core is that 2020. By the way, George Floyd, he's lynched on May 25th, 2020, which is International Tap Dance Day.
Tap dance day.
Bill Robinson's birthday. So you have a character, Bill Robinson, who was at the time the most celebrated Black tap dancer entertainer of his era, highest paid Black performer of his era, died penniless. Why? Because he would go back to his community and pay people's rents during the Great Depression. He was constantly working, doing benefits, all of these things. He dies broke, a hero to his people. He's considered the mayor of Harlem, right? Because he's taking care of his people. But within a generation, it's reversed because now they're seeing the film work. What lasts is the film work. And in the film work, there's a lot of negative images that he portrayed on film that serve to help propagate a propaganda of Black inferiority. Anyway, so on his birthday, where we celebrate a man that made decisions, not necessarily to go along to get along, but he took opportunities. And those decisions, in my worldview, led to a devaluing of the collective humanity of Black people. And so on his birthday in 2020, George Floyd is lynched, and it causes this whole uproar. Within the tap dance community, we're going to do better. We're going to do better. We're going to do better. Oh my goodness, we're going to do better. But is anybody doing like business with the topic of race and tap dance? Is anybody like making work about it? Is anybody? So it's a lonely space that I occupy. Also, you're talking to one of the only Black tap dancers in this country, in Canada. There's like, if I'm being generous, there's 5 of us. If I'm being generous, I'm being generous. And so like even more, there's like this complicated space that I occupy as an artist. And as an artist, I do feel it's my responsibility to tell stories that serve the public. I'm uninterested in being in entertaining you. That's not what this is about. That's not what the Mars Project is about. Certainly. And so I don't know. I forgot your question, but like it's a very complicated.
You answered it very thoroughly. Don't worry.
I want to say one more thing. Here's how.
Sure.
Y'all got time? I'm gonna take 2 minutes.
I'm
gonna take 4 minutes to say this. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just gotta say this. Okay. So check this out. During the transatlantic slave trade, it's not the problem with the term Black is it compresses a whole bunch of diversity within a specific melanated people. So through the transatlantic slave trade, they take a bunch of people from a bunch of different cultures, from a bunch of different languages and religions, and ship them off to the Americas and Europe, and then they're called Black, and stripped of their names, stripped of their culture, stripped of all of these things. Fine. In 1739 in the Carolinas, a group of Africans said, "We're not gonna take it. Oh no, we're not gonna take it." Okay, so then they go, yo, we're rebelling. We're rebelling. Okay, and so they signal across plantations with their drums, "It's go time," and they did. They took over the plantations. They were traveling south to Florida because there was some kind of deal that they knew about in Florida. It was called the Stono Rebellion. The Stono Rebellion, it took a little bit of time, but it was squashed. So at the time, in 1739, the United States was not the United States. It was a colony of England. And so England, they made some adjustments to their policy with slavery. And in 1740, they created something called the Negro Act. And that's where you get, okay, now Africans, you're no longer allowed to read. If we catch you reading, of course you can't write. We limit your mobility, and we ban the drums. When the drums were banned, the Africans preserved their culture by transferring the rhythms corporeally. So you have something called patting juba.
The water.
Help me.
Yeah, the water slap dance. Yeah.
Bam, bam. And what the slaveholders, they referred to, they said, "Oh, look, the bucks are dancing." And so they called it buck dancing. And buck dancing comes to be known as Buckenwing. Buckenwing comes to be known as tap. Okay, how much time? A little bit of time, a little bit left. So here's what happens though. So you have some enterprising, I'm gonna say artists. Yes, who are observing the Africans buck dancing, and they go, oh. One of the most famous, his name is Thomas Rice, and what he does is he uses burnt cork, and he paints his face black, and he sings this song, was super popular, called "Jumping Jim Crow," and essentially creates this this new slapstick, highly entertaining show business convention called minstrelsy. And within minstrelsy, buck dancing is being featured. So you have blackface minstrels with tap dancing, and so tap dancing is at like the center of this racial violence. Minstrelsy is super popular in the United States, Canada, Europe, for 100 years. From minstrelsy, you have another showbiz convention called vaudeville. They take the second act of the minstrel show, they expand it, and it becomes vaudeville. From vaudeville, you get Broadway, and then you get the show business. So like minstrelsy is really at the center of all of these things, and at tap dance. So it's inextricably linked. So right now we're coming full circle. What do you call yourself, Travis? I'm on the struggle bus. It's bananas. It's bananas. Furthermore, if we go back to sorry, not furthermore, but there's hope. Because if we go back to before minstrel shows, what the Africans were doing was not entertaining. They were relating to each other. They were communicating with themselves and their ancestors. It was spiritual. It was cultural. It wasn't political. It was a way to remember. And so what I'm trying to get back to on Mars through this tap dance show is that what I'm trying to get back to is I'm not concerned about entertaining an audience. I'm interested in welcoming people into our process of interacting and connecting with ourselves and each other through this thing called tap dance. You could call it whatever you want. That's not what I'm doing. And it's so bad for me right now that I go into a tap dance arena with tap dance peers, and I feel like a Martian. Okay. It was longer. That was like 6 minutes. I apologize. I will do better.
Still love it. Needed to know. Nice to get the history of it and everything. And so now I'm gonna pick your brain. Does anybody have any questions for him off the bat?
I will take a shorter time. Go on.
Yeah. So like how does it feel like dancing in front of a million people? Like how do you feel just like going on stage knowing that you're about 1,000 people are looking at you doing tap dance?
Okay. So at first, the very first time, I hated it. It was awful. Oh my goodness. I was so scared. I did the routine. I had this routine where my arms were out like this and like that. And I had no expression on my face. I was just focused on the steps, the steps. And then maybe the third or fourth time I was on stage, it was like at a competition, and something in my brain just went, snapped. And then I actually like looked at the crowd and I smiled at them. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm doing a solo. I'm the only one that knows what I'm doing, so I can really do anything. And then it was just like off to the races. And then what's worse is that snap or that perspective was rewarded. So I kind of have like this irreverent, although I care very deeply, I have this irreverent attitude to performance, because I know it's not just about, but it's about connecting to you. And I love that. I could do that. And then I remember, it doesn't happen as much anymore, but I used to get like, like butterflies in your stomach. You ever hear about that? Like butterflies? I didn't get butterflies. I got hawks. I got birds of prey in my stomach. It was horrible. But then like over time that subsided, because I realized, oh, it's because I want you to think I'm the best. It's an ego thing. Get rid of that, and then that's rewarded. Okay. There was only one time that I performed in front of millions of people. Once. And if you blink, you missed me. If you blink, you missed me. Okay. So I was in Vancouver in 2010 Olympics, the opening ceremony, and it was so wonderful. sweet gig. First of all, they paid well. I got to be in Vancouver for a month practicing for this thing. I got to be in Vancouver for a month practicing with a bunch of tap dancers. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But the day of, I don't remember feeling more scared in my life. And it was weird. Like I felt like this much, like a microcosm of what it feels like to be at the center of things, the center of like collective human consciousness for a brief moment. It was super cool. But I'm glad that's over with. That's a lot of pressure. You know, I do not want what Beyonce has. You know what I'm saying? Like you keep that. You keep that. You sneeze, everybody watches. No. You keep that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Besides tap dancing, is there any other dance you're interested in?
No. Like I'm interested in, like, as a admirer of movement.
Okay.
I love movement. I love seeing people express themselves uniquely through a specific movement form. But for me, it's tap dance, tap dance, tap dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
And I tried. Listen, I'm not lazy. I tried ballet. Horrible.
Yeah.
I tried jazz dance. I tried flamenco. That was okay. I tried hip hop. No. Hip hop, excuse me. That's a separate topic. But yeah, I'm a tap dancer. Yeah. What about you? Do you dance? Do you make art?
Um, I'm like a beginner in dance, so that
Cool.
is going pretty well. Cause like right now I've done different types of dances. I've done jazz dances.
Okay.
I've done hip hop,
Mhm.
and I've also done lyrical dance.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I'm leaning towards like jazz dance. I feel like that's like my jam. I like it better than those two.
Cool.
Yeah. Besides
Super
that,
cool.
yeah. I'm also like interested in musical theater. I just feel like the idea of just being on stage and singing while it's acting at the same time is like really a cool thing.
It's fun. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
My
it's
experience with that is just that, like, um, I take it as I'm a big kid and I'm just playing pretend with a bunch of people, and it's so much fun.
Yeah. It's
It
like
is so
you
much
can
fun.
act by yourself. You're just like a different character, but in yourself, and you
Yeah.
can just like do whatever you want on stage because it's just you in a different character with a different costume.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like, when you build backstory, for me, when I build backstory for any of the characters I play, the first, like, pot I jump into is my family. Like, who most of the time I get a character that has like a mannerism or a way of speaking of somebody in my family. I'm like, okay, you.
We are full of
Yeah.
So
characters.
I end up kind of mixing a bunch of things, but it is fun. And you are right. You get to do what you want, and people like you don't have to debate people on what they're seeing. You create what you want, and they're gonna watch it. And
Yeah.
like as confident as you are, um, that's where for acting and I feel like for dance too, improv gets a lot of fun where you're
Yeah.
just okay, I know what I'm doing, and so now I'm gonna start to spice it up type of thing. I love doing that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And like you get to like make so many friends in the theater department. You get to like have
Yeah.
your own family, and it's like you know that you're coming into work, even though if it's work or just like for volunteering pleasure and stuff, you know, oh my gosh, I'm with my family, which is so nice
Yeah.
to experience that social environment.
So I don't mean to like bring it to like the serious place, but I think musical theater or storytelling is so very important. I know that the so many things that I understand about the world were explained to me through stories, and so I think if you have like an aptitude for it, if you have a
Yeah.
passion for it, a love for it, please do that. Also, the friendships that you make,
Yeah.
those are the people that you're going to be working with for the rest of your life. That's super
Forever.
important. Yeah, forever. It's great. Life is great that way. It's great.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was all my questions. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Thanks for
Okay.
asking them. Those are really
Yeah.
good questions. Does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, what specifically do you like? do you love about tap dance that you can't find in any other dance form?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was about to act like I don't remember. Okay, no, yes. What I love is tap dance to me is the best game in town because you get to make music and dance to it at the same time. It's really once there's not it's I start to salivate, or I used to salivate when I hit like specific rhythms and you just like you sit in this pocket and then boom, then you break it and go somewhere else. And when you're really in the pocket, the audience is with you. And I don't know, it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. Rhythms, music, and dance at the same time. Yeah. What about you? Do you make art?
I paint and I sketch.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, I'm jealous already.
Yeah.
I've tried dance. I
Okay.
can't pick up on stuff fast enough to keep up with it. Can't
Sure.
remember steps. So, yeah, I
Love
paint
remembering steps.
and I sketch.
Super cool.
Awesome.
Visual mind.
Cool.
Awesome. I love it.
So my next question is, as applied, I know it's hinted at in the video that we watched for Mars,
Mhm.
but what are the actual tangible steps from having an idea